Hello everyone, and thank you for being here. Before we begin, let me ask a simple but powerful question. Is sustainable development truly possible without sustainable education? We believe the answer is clear. Without education, there is no awareness. Without awareness, there is no change. Without change, there is no future.
At first, the phrase sustainable education might sound like a technical term that is more schools, more enrollments, and more data. But as someone who dreams of studying law, I see it differently. To me, it's not just about systems, it's about justice. It's about ensuring that no child is denied the right to learn, not because of where they were born, how they look, or who their parents are. Education should be a guarantee, not a gamble.
And from an educator's point of view, I believe this with all my heart. Education is the roots. It's the root of empathy, the roots of innovation, the roots of every movement toward a better world. But every root begins small like a seed. Let me share something personal. When I was younger, I was a quiet student. I didn't raise my hand much, and I often doubt whether my ideas really matter. But one day, a teacher looked at me, not with judgment, but with belief. She said,
Jun, I think you have something important to say.
That moment changed me. It gave me the tool to think, to speak, to dream. And now I want to give them back. But here's the truth. Education can only be sustainable if no one is left behind.
Exactly. Even though many governments declare education as a human right, what happens in reality? More than 250 million children around the world are out of school. That's 70% of all young people, according to UNESCO's 2020 reports. They are missing their chance to learn, grow, and out of poverty. Children in marginalized communities are still waiting. So we must ask, not just what does the law say, but does the law work for everyone? That's why we need a monetary system for education, one that actively checks fairness and inclusions. It works like this. First, recognize and problem that identify gaps in access, patterns of discrimination, or schools falling behind. Second, collect and analyze data enrollments, attendance, and complaints. Third, act, intervene where children are excluded. Fourth, enforcement. Connect with legal institutions to hold violators accountable. By integrating law and education, we transform equal education from its reality.
Even with us, some children are still unreachable, living far from schools, displaced by war or disaster, or falling behind during crises like COVID-19. They need education that reaches them where they are, not where we expect them to be. That's why I propose something small, simple, but powerful, which I call the micro-learning hub. Imagine a flood hits a remote village in Bangladesh and schools are damaged. A temporary shelter could become a learning hub with volunteer mentors, solar-powered tablets, and basic lessons bringing education directly to the child. These hubs are not replacement for school. They are bridges back into learning for children who have been left out too long. Because when education goes to the child, not the other way around, no one is left behind. We believe that when education is treated not just as a right, but as a shared responsibility. That's why we created our vision, Seed for the Future. Because just like a seed, education needs three things: the right soil, the right support, and the right care.
It starts as a seed, it grows into opportunity, it flourishes into dignity, and it matures into a sustainable future. So we ask you, what kind of future do you want to plan today?
I bring the new seed named Education to open the future.
And I bring water named Love to nurture this seed, helping them bloom into opportunity. Wow, we made a flower that opens the future.
Just as we help a flower bloom by uniting education and love, we can cultivate a sustainable society today and for generations to come.
Thank you for listening.